Good afternoon from Los Angeles. You're listening to the Top Producers Real Estate Podcast.
Where are you at in your business? Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an experienced broker. Where are you at? Why aren't you where you want to be? And how can we help you achieve that goal? If you are just starting out, if you're thinking to get into the business, or if you already have a decade or two of experience, you can not only join and learn, you can also contribute.
Hello from Los Angeles. I'm Tyler Soderberg, and I have with me my co-host, award-winning and top-producing real estate agent, Bastian Weinhold from New York City. How's it going, Bastian?
Hey, Tyler. Great to be here. Thanks so much.
Yeah, great. Well, this is our first episode of this Top Producers podcast. So I think we should tell everyone a little bit about who we are and why we started this podcast. So,
absolutely.
Bastian Weinhold is one of the founders of USATopproducers.com. Could you just give us a little backstory about yourself?
Of course, sure. I immigrated to the U.S. around 10 years ago or so with no intention of plans on working in real estate, actually. I moved to New York City with my brother to study, and I finished my studies here that I started overseas in Europe. And quickly I guess it comes with the island of Manhattan. I was interested and fascinated by the buildings, by the architecture, and quickly picked up on how crazy the prices are in that city. And I was just interested and motivated to learn more about it. And while I was still in school, I just wanted to learn what is real estate. And at that time, I didn't know anything really. I didn't know nothing. So I just searched online and found that there are things like real estate brokerage firms, and I didn't know what that means. I didn't know what that is. So I just scheduled an appointment, one of those firms, no idea what that firm was or what they do, and just walked in really. I've just jumped in the cold water, walked in that office, and asked the guy, "Hey, my name is Bastian, can I work for you?" And he looked at me, not really knowing what to say. He clearly could tell I had no idea what I was doing at that time. So he said, "Well, do you have a license?" I said, "I don't have a license." I didn't even know we have to get a license. So he sent me back and said, "Well, get your license and maybe I'll talk to you then." At that time, I went back home. I searched online what it is. What is a real estate license? What do real estate sales people do? I found out because in Europe things work very differently, and I guess in every country you live in or work in, things may work differently. So I needed to do a lot of research just to figuring things out. And I was fascinated by it. Just everything about it, I just liked it. So the next day, pretty much, I signed up for the New York real estate salesperson class, and I went to the classes at night, and whenever I had time, next to my bachelor's and master's studies, and I took a short time after, I took my real estate license, and came back to that very office and said, "Hey, I have my license. Can I start working here now?" And he looked at me, "Who are you?" I said, "Well, I came here like a month or so ago, and you asked me to get my license, so here I am." I think he was pretty, well, Tyler, you worked in the industry as well, so it's a highly competitive industry, right?
Right.
Right, which I didn't know at that time. And this particular broker, he's a big broker, which I also didn't know. So I think he saw my hunger for success and saw how motivated I am. And he gave me a shot, which now looking back, it's just, I think I was very lucky. So he gave me a shot and gave me a desk. I had my phone, I had my computer. I didn't know that this is what's going to happen. I just really didn't know. From that day on, I continued working hard at it. Yeah, that's really the story.
Okay, so could you tell us a little bit about your experience from that point moving forward? I know you started out in rentals in Manhattan, and then you gradually moved into sales. Can you just give us a little backstory about your path to success
Yeah,
and everything?
sure.
Okay.
Sure. Um, yeah, so I started out at that firm, which was or still is, a mid to good sized brokerage firm in Manhattan. I would say they do 60 to 70% rentals, and the rest is sales. So it's a rental oriented firm. Um, I was always the first in the office. I pretty much got there at 7 a.m. early. At the beginning, the office door was closed, so I needed to get a copy of the key because no one was there. And sat at my desk. And the first week, or maybe 10 days or so, I was there. No one else showed up until 10, 11, and I just didn't know what to do. What am I doing here? I just really didn't know. So I kept on calling, texting, emailing the broker, the boss of this firm, and bothered him pretty much day and night, asking questions. I would say around 15 to 20 questions every single day. As soon as he walked into the office, I was behind him, and he is a tough guy. I mean, he is not an easy person to talk to. He's a tough businessman, and he was annoyed by me like crazy. But I didn't care. I just had so many questions, and I asked him what to do, and he mentored me. He taught me everything. And I mean, you got to know at that time, like a $2,000, $3,000 rental, that was like huge money for me. Like imagine you get I don't know, like a 15% commission on that. I couldn't believe the potential there, and I just really was hungry to close my first rental. Yeah, and I shadowed him as much as possible, and he mentored me. He taught me everything, like literally everything that I didn't know. I asked him, and he answered and helped me, even though he was annoyed. So I picked up on it after, I would say, 4 or 5 weeks of hard work. I finally got my first rental, which was a $2,000 commission, and then I got my splits. In the end, I got, I don't know, $1,000, and that was amazing for me. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Um, Took it from there and really got into it. I mean, I had my system down, I had my areas down, I knew my buildings. I worked hard 7 days per week, pretty much, unless I left town. I was working, and it kept me pretty busy until I really had my rhythm down for, like, I don't know, 3, 4 rentals per week consistently. That was like my boom, boom, boom. This is my route I take. Those are the buildings I show. I know everything about it. And it was just a numbers game. Until I got a little bit, I don't want to say tired of it, but I needed a new challenge, I think. And I picked up on a few sales agents that I met on my way that did a lot less transactions, but the numbers in the end were just so much higher. If you sell a $1 million apartment, which in Manhattan, it's not a big space, it's a 1-bedroom apartment basically. You can, you get 3-4%, and that number was just staggering to me. It was just unbelievable. And I felt the service that I provide as a sales agent is also at a different level than I provide as a rental agent, especially nowadays with all those websites out there, and you face a lot of competition in this market. I guess in any major city in the US, but in New York in particular, it's a very competitive business. And standing out as a sales agent, helping the client and the customer to find them, sell or buy an apartment, I just was really attracted to that idea of it. And it's a different process. It's a lot more complicated and takes a lot longer. So long story short, I transitioned to a different firm, and this might sound like a surprise. I transitioned to one of those very small, very well-run firms, but it was a much smaller firm, a boutique firm in Chelsea that focused on, I would say, 90% rentals. So it was really a rental firm, but they offered me 100% split. I paid them a flat fee, so I got a lot more money, even though I paid them a flat fee, just by doing rentals. And my intention there was I stayed there for a year, maybe a year and a half, just to build a very healthy cushion. So then afterwards, I can transition to a full-time sales firm, which worked very well, which I did. And that's where I'm at right now. And life is good. I'm doing a lot more sales. I would say 80% sales and 20% rentals by now. And yeah, I refer a lot of my rentals out as well because I'm trying to focus on sales.
Okay, and for those listening in other parts of the country that might not understand how the rental market works in New York, can you just briefly go through that? How it's an open listing market and working with management companies and things of that nature?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy market. It's super fun, but it's just crazy. I don't know how else to describe it. The competition out there is massive. So there are things called open listings, meaning certain management companies, like a management company owns a building, or usually they own more than one building, and they send out every morning, usually 2 to 3 times per day, they send out their email blast with availability. And this changes pretty quickly, especially in the summer month for the rental season. We're just talking about rentals now. And those can be advertised as an open listing. So anyone can come, preview, do whatever they need to do, and advertise those apartments with their permission. Just need to ask for it if your firm allows this as well. Not every firm allows open listings. That's an open listing. Then there are exclusive listings, meaning most of those are condominium listings, or in New York City we have things called cooperatives. But the condominium exclusives are one agent of one firm has the exclusive right to list the apartment. So you can basically only bring a customer if it's an exclusive listing, and then you can co-broke the apartment. So you get a percentage of the commission, and the listing agent, the exclusive listing agent, gets a percentage. At that time, until I transitioned to the sales firm, I only did open listings. That's all I did, which can be very cutthroat because everybody in the city is advertising the same listings. So you need to find your own way that you can stick out. And this is where the challenge really kicks in, because you need to know the inventory, and you need to know how you can get a call, and how can you provide the best service out there. So the customer who can run around with any agent in the city, which is tens of thousands, they want to work with you. And I'm saying they want to work with you, not they have to work with you, which is a big difference.
Right. Okay. Well, in terms of this project you're working on, USA Top Producers, it's kind of a new project, and I just wanted to get an idea of what you're hoping to accomplish with it.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this thing. It's just, I mean, you and I, we have been working on this for so long. We spent, I don't know, man, how many hours we put into this. It's so crazy. I'm so excited. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm just super excited about this. It's a bunch of things. So number one, the part of mentoring and sharing and learning from each other, and in this type of competitive environment or market, it doesn't exist out there. I haven't seen it. There's always a catch. If whatever I found, or I joined so many coaches and mentoring programs and you name it, and I pretty much took all of them. Just I was hungry to learn. There was always a catch. So this one, USA Top Producers, it's a mentor, learning, teaching, sharing environment platform for all real estate agents in the US. If you are just starting out, if you're thinking to get into the business, or if you already have, I don't know, a decade or two of experience, you can not only join and learn, you can also contribute and hopefully, which is our next goal, to create a platform where all the agents in the US and eventually globally can connect with each other. So talking about referrals, I mean, just this is the potential here is so massive, in my opinion. It's just incredible. But for me, the biggest part really is the upfront approach of, hey, where are you at in your business? Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an experienced broker. Where are you at? Why aren't you where you want to be? and how can we help you achieve that goal? That doesn't always need to be like a one by one, do this, do that kind of guide. It needs to be individual. And one of the USA top producers product is the one-on-one coaching, for example. That's just one of many, but the one-on-one coaching, for example, is just the best example. Oh my God, just think about, I had a coach at that time that would answer all those questions and was available pretty much 24/7 without any type of kickback or any second thought, just honest feedback. I'm your teacher, I want to help you, and all I care about is your long-term success. I think it's unbelievable.
Right, and I definitely think that there is a lack of training after you get out of real estate school. I mean, when you're in real estate school, they teach you laws and they teach you rules and regulations, but they don't really teach you how to be a real estate agent.
Oh, totally. Yeah. This is what I didn't know. And I think 90% of people who go to real estate school, they don't know. You learn about the laws and fair housing, and you learn about all the things that you just, it's important to know, but in the end, those don't help you get a client, treat a client, find them great deals, and eventually close a good deal, and then get referrals from them a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years afterwards. It's no one ever talks about it, and this was a very frustrating experience for me, and to any broker and agent I talked to, 100% went through the same thing. Everybody individually has to go out and seek a mentor and ask them and kind of beg them to please help me, I don't know, but I want to learn. Pretty much what I did. And run after them and back them. In the end, they have to give away the commission split because they will not do it for free. No one does it for free. And then, they get a commission split of at least 50%, if not more. Just think about that per deal. And most of the agreements are for at least 4 months long. It's pretty crazy. So I cannot really believe that there's no institution out there, no school, no network or product that is really focused on actually helping real estate agents and brokers even become better at what they do. And it's just mind-boggling, yeah.
Yeah, and I found that brokerages in general, some do have pretty good training, but a lot of them, they realize that the turnover rate is so high, and they kind of think, how much effort do I really want to put into each and every agent? So the training can be lacking because of that reason.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I get it. It's for them. It's a numbers game. They're running a business. Some of them a big business. They cannot spend a lot of money and effort on every person individually. I get that, which is one of the reasons why we put a cap for the one-on-one coaching. We don't take anyone. We want to make it not exclusive, but we want to guarantee whoever we take on that we do have the time, that we do have the energy, and that we do have the commitment to really help them and be there for them as much as they need us. And if the number is full, I don't know where we're at right now. It's changing quickly, so I'm not exactly sure where we're at right now. But it keeps us busy, but it still gives us enough time to relax as well. So the next day we get up and we go on a coaching call, we have energy. We are really good to go. And whenever we have availability, we put it out there, and those spots get filled pretty quickly. So yeah, I totally agree with you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, kind of going along with that, with agent turnover and just lack of training in general. I recently read a statistic that said 75% of real estate agents leave the industry within 1 year of starting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think the biggest obstacle is, and what do you think agents need to overcome in order to make it past that first year and make it for many more years?
Oh man, that's a great question. Yeah, I'm not surprised about the statistic actually, but it's tough. I would say let me start over. If people enter the industry, most of the time they enter with the expectation, I can make a lot of money, right? Or they treat it as a part-time job, and I can do quite a good amount of money next to whatever else I do, which is true, but it's not going to be easy money. You need to work, and you need to have a system down, and you need to be consistent. Next to the fact that you have to deal with so much rejection and punches in the face that you just every morning you have to get up again and do it again, and you'll get another punch, and you have to do it again and you have to do it again over and over again until you have a solid foundation. And building this foundation is key, but it can take time. It can take over a year. I'm still sometimes changing my routine and adjusting certain things because I realize I need to adapt to the market changes or whatever it is. But it just needs constant work and focus. And a lot of people are not willing to put that in, I think. They think I get in, I do a sale, 1 million, I get a whatever, $30,000 commission check. It doesn't work like that. So the expectation is very high, which is realistic. But on the other hand, a lot of people are not willing to put in the hard work that is required. Next to the fact, and now it's my last point for this question, they don't have anyone who can lead them, who can show them silly mistakes to avoid and time killers and all those small things that in the end of the day add up. I still remember when I started out, how many people in the office were just sitting there and talking and drinking coffee, and then went out and got another coffee, and I just what are they doing? Are they at work, or are they what? I didn't get it. And those people, they all dropped out after 6 months. They were all gone, and then there were new people coming, and you could really see this person is into it, and he puts in the effort, and he doesn't waste time. He's improving and working hard, and those people stay, and the others drop out quickly because they have the expectation that they just cannot meet.
Right, yeah. People need to take it seriously when they enter this business. I know lots of people think, well, I'm working for myself. Technically, I'm an independent contractor, but that means that in a way you're your own boss, and
exactly,
and you really have to push yourself if you want to make it in this business.
Exactly, especially in this age, this day and age, where within a mouse click you find everything online. I mean, everything in New York City, especially. I mean, you're in LA, everything is online, and things can, you don't necessarily, in a city like New York, you don't necessarily, especially for rentals, need an agent unless you really need help. And this is where a lot of people cut the corner, and this is so wrong. I have a totally different approach to this. I mean, I love all the things that are out there, all the websites that you can search on. It's just a matter of how do you use it and how do you explain it to the client. And once you are upfront and honest with them, and you tell them this is out there, you can do it on your own. You just need to make sure X, Y, and Z is in place, and this is what you need to do. They look at you and they just really, they're overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They need your help, and that's where we come in as a rental agent, or a lot more extreme as a sales agent, of course. But that's where our service comes in, and that's where we can really help the client, instead of what so many people do, and what kind of the bad name of this industry is, like to rip people off. So sad to see or hear that. This is not what this job is about. We're here to help people find a home. And most of the people that I met, my clients, are just, once they know what they need to do in order to get that job done, they're totally overwhelmed. They can't handle it.
Right, that makes sense. We're providing a service. The client isn't a commodity. The client is someone to make a connection with.
Absolutely, yeah. And we emphasize this so heavily, not only in our guide, but in the one-on-one coaching. And most one-on-one coaching clients, they get a deal done, they have the client, and they move on to the next. And we have so many steps in place that connect all of this. So I cannot tell you how many clients I get out of one client because I treat them like gold. And there are so many steps in place that we share, and we tell them, and this can be done and that can be done, and out of a sudden, things start to work, and the snowball effect kicks in. And you just mentioned referrals. This is another big word, referrals. Like, that's free money, referrals. You just need to know how to handle it.
Right. This is a referral business, and we'll get into that in a later episode. But we're just about out of time. But I think that was a great rundown, and you kind of described what we're doing and what we're working on. We'll be releasing a podcast every first and third Wednesday of each month. And next time, we'll be speaking about the importance of setting working parameters for yourself, concentrating on certain neighborhoods instead of trying to cover your entire city. We're going to talk about how to stay organized, and we're going to talk about how to become an expert on your local market.
Awesome. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Well, everyone, have a productive and profitable week, and we'll talk to you next time.
Sounds good. Thanks. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.